morning. It's the morning ritual for guitar growth right here on Jason Carey Guitar on the old YouTube. And I'm so happy that you're with me this morning. And let's see. Who do we have first off the gate? Oh, Robbie Smith. Good morning. Happy Friday. And today we're finishing up our work week on fingerstyle work week. Our fingerstyle work week is wrapping up today on this very happy Friday, as our good friend Kevin says. And today we're working with well, today we're finishing up. Next week what we're doing is we're getting into pentatonic scales. We're using all 5 pentatonic scales almost exclusively for the week. We're going to prepare ourselves a little bit today, and we're going to over the weekend you should see some I don't know if I have a video. I think I might have a video with all of the minor pentatonic shapes, like a PDF binder for that session already available on the web. I think I do, and if I don't, I'm not sure what's going on with that, but there will be one. Let me collect my thoughts here. We've been out snow blowing since 4:30 this morning, and it's a pretty, you know, we got a charge of snow. I've got to head out a little bit later and finish cleaning up today. So I'm still sort of wrapping my mind around that activity. And let's see. Ouch, 4:30. Yeah, it's a little bit of a charge. So my wife comes out at 6:37 and says, "Hey, can you start my car?" And I thought, oh man, it's getting late. So we made it. It looks like I'm still broadcast backwards, so I'm not sure what that's all about. Maybe we're you know, let's get started. So over the weekend you could expect to see, if there's not already one living out there somewhere, you could expect to see a video that kind of runs us through all of the, excuse me here, that runs us through all of the minor pentatonic shapes, major and minor pentatonic shapes, so that we have those sort of, like, we could prepare over the weekend for that stuff. So you should see that a little later today or over the weekend. And just to have as a resource, I did late last night share with everybody I did a fingernail study last night. So what I did is I gave us I did a sodium bicarbonate super glue and sodium bicarbonate fingernail, a short video late last night. I had to fix my middle fingernail, so you can see that there's some additional material on these fingers. So they're built up. It's just the fingertip. It's just the tip of the finger that is fortified with sodium bicarbonate and super glue. So that's a really interesting thing to do. And I only did the 2 fingers. I know we're wrapping up. Right now we're wrapping up our very first fingerstyle week of 2025, and I thought maybe it would be a good idea to just walk us through the process of getting these fingernails built up in a manner consistent with, you know, Mr. Pierre Ben-Suzanne and some other world-class sort of classical guitarists. And we have, oh, Dan Husband, good morning. Good morning, crew. Hey, and off we went. Raul's here. Good morning. Hello. And we're starting out with 60 beats per minute. You can see the rig that I'm using here. Just a really quick sample. Over the February break, we are converting this room into a walk-in pantry, so I have that to look forward to. So everything's sort of up in the air. But I've got this really cool music stand that I really like. It's super easy to set up. It's you know, it can do everything you need it to do and more. And it's just really cool. Like it telescopes, and it's just super easy to deal with. And I really like the reduction of friction in any part of my life. I can remove friction or reduce friction. I'm a big fan of that. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, coffee's rolling. I've got a coffee rolling here too. So let's take a look at fingers 3 and 4, 1E and 4 attacks per beat. We're at 60 beats per minute, and we're using 1E and 2E and frets 11 and 12. Ready? 1Z and 2Z, and I'm putting on my shoesy. I like that stand. Coffee first. Morning, Mark. So we're working on just a really nice, easy go here this morning. I'm finding that I have to breathe my way back into this because I've been out operating the tractor this morning, removing the snow. I thought about getting it done later last night, but I just couldn't be asked. Plus, I ended up doing this really nice sit down at the dining room table and got my index and middle fingers all schooled up with super glue and sodium bicarbonate. So we'll move right on, moving along. Fingers 2 and 3. 1E and a 2E and a 2 and a Mark. Top of the morning to you too, good man. So I thought maybe I would get everything done before we hit this morning at 7:30, but I'm going to go over my son bought the remainder of the road up here, and so there's a path that we maintain all the way through the woods. There's a little wooded path for the kids to walk. I think this summer or this spring we're planning on building like a suspension bridge for the younger kids to walk through, and a little obstacle course through the woods. So just try to keep it fun for the kids, keep them outdoors, you know. Experience that freedom. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, we were just like, you know, we'd have to go out in the yard and entertain ourselves, and dig a hole in the ground with a stick was like our entertainment, you know what I mean? So 1E and a 2E, fingers 1 and 2. So just working through the morning ritual and preparing ourselves for next week's activities. I've been working on, working some Megadeth solos, like for Symphony of Destruction. I looked at some footage from some high school band footage, and I forgot we played like Megadeth, we played Symphony of Destruction way back in the day when it wasn't cool to play Symphony of Destruction. Pantera, Mouth for War, all of that stuff. Hostile. We did all of that stuff early on, get it out of the way. And then we will look back on some middle school footage, band footage, and we had a drummer that could play Spirit of Radio, so, and we nailed it. We did. Yeah, it was pretty. There's so much great repertoire out there to pull from, and you begin the day with a friendly voice, a manner, a companion unobtrusive. Mr. Peart had a way with words for certain. All right, so I'm working on my breath and just trying to place myself here in our rehearsal this morning, our morning ritual. And I hope everyone's got a good cup of joe or yogurt. Raul's got some yogurt rolling probably. So let's go ahead and take a look at fingers 3 and 4 stretch. Let's do the stretchy, right? 2 1 and a 2. Well, let's put that on 2 4. 4 1 Z and a 2 Z and a Mr. Grubbs, how you doing this morning? Oh, you saw the video, Raul. Nice. And we're finishing up our grueling week of fingerstyle guitar. And just if you're just tuning in, Marlon, you probably saw it, but I did a quick video, a tutorial on how to prepare your picking hand fingernails if you wanted to learn how to reinforce those fingernails as they start to get overplayed and overused. And how to fortify those up and build those up into little individual plectrums on the tip of each finger. So that was released last night. It's just a quick little cell phone video. It doesn't need to be much. But I always thought, I forget where I learned how to do it. But it was a little bit of research back in the day when I actually had to learn how to do it. So 4, 2, and 3, and let's use fingers 2 and 3, and we'll get that stretch going. You can see where I'm aiming to keep my thumb sort of low. Raul will get a kick out of this. Get a kick out of that, keeping that thumb low, because really what we're trying to do is if I keep my thumb up here, like my palm is close to the bottom of the guitar neck, and then I have a limited range of mobility, and it costs me some extended angles here in the wrist. If I keep we keep our thumbs down here, closer to the bottom of the guitar neck, we do get a little bit more sort of breathing room between the bottom of the neck of the guitar and our palm. So we could really, and then plus we could use the thumb as a pivot point, right? So we could reach back to, if we have to, fret number 4 and reach all the way up to fret number, what is that, 15, 17, 19, 21, We have a pretty substantial reach, but we'll keep an eye out on developing that. Let's do fingers 2 and 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a 2 1 2. I'm really noticing that the feel on the fingertips is different this morning because they are built up quite a bit. And the tone is different. So I'm having to, it's almost like relearning how to play again with the picking hand. There we go. We'll just crush through all of that stuff. This is still a really hard finger grouping for me to actually do. And I was thinking about surgery, not really, but maybe kicking the guitar over here and just changing the angles a little bit more so that if I push the guitar this way a little bit more, I get a little bit more action out of this. Do you know what I mean? So I can actually, if I have my guitar too close, it really causes me an issue with that proximity doesn't allow my fret hand to open up. Jamie Murrell. Good morning. Hello. If you're just tuning in, we're engaged we do this every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's our morning ritual for guitar growth. And we just say hello to the guitars in the morning. We just take it easy. We're just pulling in, we're rolling in easy. getting the fingers worked up, getting the fingers ready for the guitar day, actually getting the fingers warmed up and ready for practice. But this ritual, if you are interested, if you're a guitar player, this will remain free for the, it's free. I mean, it's just something I'm going to do anyway. And I thought I have some goals. Just woke up, perfect timing. That's what I do too. So 1 E and a 2 using fingers 1 and 2 on frets 10 and 12. Ready? 1 and 2 and a 1 and a 2 E and a, you know what to do E and a. You'll notice if you stick around, I wanted to really welcome you here, especially if you're just waking up. The best time of the day, the best part of waking up is, well, it used to be Folgers in my cup, right? I was a little young for that. But the best part of waking up is starting out early with a guitar. Because if I start early with a guitar, I begin becoming a guitar player over the whole day. I'm always thinking about my morning ritual. So that's why I want to, yeah, 𝗙𝗵𝗴𝗄𝗃. Most of the people here, most of our friends here show up, they arrive with guitar in hand. We go ahead and tune up, and we go ahead and we go through a breath cycle. We include breath into the entire morning ritual. We go through the tuning process, which maybe we did this morning. We didn't. It's Friday, so that's okay. And then we go through a mechanical process of warming up. And this is just giving us access to, you know, if you're practicing or teaching 6, 7, 8 hours a day, you probably stay in a pretty good, you know, pretty warmed up all the time. This is for those of us who want to also improve our breath, improve our own person, we want to do some goal setting. So I've got 3 short-term goals where I see myself at the beginning of summer, 3, you know, long-term goals, 5 years where I see myself in, you know, 5 years, 3 long-term goals. Am I even still playing the guitar? That answer is yes. And then, you know, a year from now, I see myself winning, you know, Winfield, you know, flat pick, National Flat Pick Championship. So that's one of my goals. And I thought, if I'm going to do that, I have a plan all written out for myself. I need to execute the plan now in order to realize the plan, execute the plan. Do you know what I mean? And so I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here anyway. And I thought, if I have lofty goals, there are other guitar friends that I'm going to meet along the way who also have lofty goals. Maybe we want to sit down and we have a place to be at a certain time. I've never had an experience where I warm up with other people. And so this is a brand new thing for probably most of us. And it seems like it's a very enjoyable experience. So I would encourage you to come back and just join us again, Jamie, and bring a guitar. Fingers 2 and 3 and 4 on frets 10, 11, and 12. 1 E and a 2 and a putting on my Tuesday. Yeah. Oh, trio, you talking my language. Do you guys write, or do you cover, or what do you do? If you don't mind us asking. Because typically what will happen, we have a culture of respect here in this live chat. It's usually a pretty banging experience. Guitarists from all over the place touring, you know, maybe they're playing in a group, maybe some of them have gigs ongoing. We're aspiring to be campfire guitar players. We're aspiring to, you know, play in stadiums where we all have, I think the goal set is pretty interesting too. To just show up and practice the guitar for the sake of maintenance of neuroplasticity. me, that's enough. But gigging with the trio, that's very exciting. Both, it's a jazz group. Oh. Oh, very nice. Does this jazz group have a name? I've only ever seen this guy warm up. Does he ever play? Hey, Gizmos and Gadgets, have you seen, you can visit Jason Carey Guitar, my YouTube channel, and you'll see, you can take a look at, I don't know, if there are hundreds of videos there if you wanted to check it out, and you can walk through. But I also wanted to invite you, Gizmos and Gadgets, if you're here and you have a guitar in your hand, join us. You know, it's good for the, it's definitely good for the soul. 1 and a 2 E and a 2 and a 2 and a. Fingers 1, 2, and 3, 10, 11, and 12. Have an arch top 𝗙𝗵𝗴𝗄𝗃. In a world full of guitar technique, this is some mystical. I think one reason it's free is because it's priceless. Well, you know, you can't replace your time. And so I like to try to show up on time and end on time. Occasionally I'll keep you know, some of us over, but I just have a tremendous amount of, you know, we all have a tremendous amount of work to accomplish over the span of a day. So I definitely don't want to be the one to encourage the squandering of time. We have So do you guys have a YouTube channel? Just we're finishing up this is the last day of fingerstyle week. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's a good attitude. You know, Troll's got to have something to do too. I've found that we, you know, we all want to be heard, right? And so it's important that we're all in a situation where we can all be heard, seen and heard and valued. And some of us didn't, you know, some of us just like to troll. Some of us just like to do that. I have a friend who's from a previous life, like I have a friend who's probably one of the best internet trolls out there, like changes elections. You know, very, very talented troll. And I just, you know, I had to let him know this yesterday. I saw something come over my timeline, one of my timelines, and I'm like, Curtis, you're the best at what you do. I mean, you're literally the best at what you do. So, you know, it's an interesting thing, you know. Let's go ahead and just check out fingers 2 and 4. And we're using frets 9 and 12. So the thing about the culture of respect, though, is, yeah, we are basically here to, a rising tide floats all boats. You know, if you're here, you have a guitar channel that you're working on, if you'd like to swing by and promote it, this is, it's the same way that we ran the Conservatory of Music that I founded and directed for a few years or whatever. And it's really a very open situation where if you want to improve yourself and you want to touch down and make some new contact points, connections, this is a good place. This is as good a place as any. Like last week we had Mr. Scott K. Fish, from the old managing editor from Modern Drummer magazine, right here in this very farmhouse dog room. And he stopped in for a visit because he was in town and we're good friends. And you know, he's been in the room with Tony Williams, with Dave Weckl. You know, he found Dave Weckl for God's sake, you know. So so let's put that on 2, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 Z and a 2 Z and fingers 2 and 4. Here we go. 9 and 12. And we're just taking it easy. This isn't like a flash contest, you know. This isn't about, I mean, I wish I could take requests, you know, I like to, you know, dance, you know, play, take requests like everybody else, but this is sort of sacred territory for me. I'm really working on continuity of tone and continuity of stream of conscious, and really trying to work my breath so that all of this becomes a composite synthesis of what musical thought I'm going to develop, like in a live session. I'm really glad you're here, Jamie, because, you know, we just had a really great ensemble come, you know, travel up here for a really big gig, private gig, but, you know, the Craig Brand Trio. Do you know Craig Brand? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and a 2 E and a, you know what to do, and just working through the asinine. I think most of us just think, you know, sometimes I look at what I'm doing here. Why am I doing this on the internet? You know, I've got 7 likes, and it's like 8 likes. You know, I'd like to see like 40 likes, 150 likes, you know, but that's not really what this is about for me. And it's not what it's about for others that, you know, once in a while we'll get like a 50 spot super chat or a 20 spot super chat and they're helpful, you know, whatever we can do to keep the lights on, right? You can't change the world if you can't keep the lights on. But this isn't like a situation where we beg. If I couldn't be here on my own free will and accord, I wouldn't be, obviously. So let's go ahead and take a look at, where are we at? Did we do fingers 2, 3, and 4 yet? I feel like we did. Let's try it again. 1 and a 2 E and a 2 and 2 E and 2. It's funny, Mark, if you look at the, Jamie, if you want, I mean, we'd love to highlight you on the community post, the post page. If you look at the posts page, you'll see that we go ahead and highlight some of the frequent flyer live chatters. You know, if you're here supporting the live chat, and you're here supporting yourself, you know, trying to, you know, really do the thing, whereas you could just kind of sit around and play TikTok all day. If you're really wanting to improve the self and really working to improve your game and the band and the game of the rest of the Joes or blokes in your ensembles, I would say, you know, let's figure out how we can give you a shout out on the community tab or the posts tab, because, you know, you can go and take a look at Mark's guitar. We've got a Mark right here in this live chat, and you can go take a quick look at, you know, Mark's, the guitar that, like the old school guitars that just have been living with us for years, and why they're still with us, and why we haven't cut them or culled the collection. Yeah, so I would do this. Some of us soak our hands in water, you know, some warm water before we perform. I mean, it all depends. Like, you've heard the David Sanchez story before. So Mr. Sanchez was, you know, he doesn't eat anything before he performs. So you can see there's a little super glue and sodium bicarbonate here. I just did this last night, and if you're a fingerstyle guitar player and you want to learn more about how to fortify your fingernails without damaging like Lee press-on nails, you can check out that channel, that video right here in the channel. It's you know, fingerstyle tone or something like that. So I'm using fingers 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and a 2Z and a, you know what to do-zy and a... Hello, Jason. Oh. Yeah, each guitar definitely has a different voice, Mark, right? It's like spending the time, the seat time with each guitar and really finding the voice. I have guitar nerd friends that say, oh yeah, we'll go into a music shop together. And Roger Steve will be like, oh yeah, that guitar's got all kinds of old tunes in it. Oh yeah, that's gonna last that's gonna get some. You're gonna get some really great songs out of that guitar. Like the guitar has a separate life, and then when you merge your life with the life of the guitar, then that's where the magic really starts to happen. I mean, I have friends who are like totally into the guitar voodoo thing, you know, and they are true believers. And I'm sure you do too. My goal is to get more steady gigs for trio. Let's keep that in mind. And is there a reason for that? Are you looking to just like a paycheck, or are you looking for Miss Carlos Santana's drummer, longtime drummer Michael Shreve was, you know, he's talking about music first, you know, being a musician, a person first, and then being, you know, doing the thing for money, or, you know, dancing around like a monkey or whatever. Miles Davis talked about that, like, I ain't your monkey, I'm not gonna be your monkey. And are you looking to preach the message? Do you have goals that you want to achieve with your gigs? Exposure, like you just get you know, increase your market share. I mean, are you pushing the boundaries? You're like doing like the Kurt Rosenwinkel thing, where you're just kind of like taking it to the next place. Have you thought about that? I always think about things like that. Like getting the gig is cool, but if I show up to the pub, and there's nothing wrong with this, but if I show up to the pub just to sell, you know, sell beers to patrons, that's cool because people like beer, you know, people like that stuff. People like to have the refreshments, and then they like to have the time away, like going to a baseball game, right? We like to be entertained, right? Here I am, entertain me. And there's an entire market that's developed around that. So, you know, Mr. Eddie Gomez, are you familiar with Eddie Gomez? 1 and a 2E and a T, 1 fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4, and frets 9 through 12. We're back to 4-finger wonders here. 1E and a 2E and a, you know what to do, E and a. I have one. Okay, good. I want to hear you go full shred. Yeah, me too. I usually do that, you know, in the shop. I used to have this guitar teacher I would go watch live, and he'd just play it cool. And every once in a while, he'd get so excited he couldn't contain himself. He'd just completely come apart of the seams. That dude was just a master. But he was always just in reserve, you know, and always focused on the tone, always focused on serving the song, and always focused on serving just the moment. And that was a great discipline in itself, and a really remarkable thing to witness as a young student. Sorry, I just tripped out hard on that. I don't know what. This is a really great live chat this morning. You know, this is really dinging some bells. Thank you for sharing your YouTube handle. We'll come back to that if we can, you know, we all try to support each other too. One of the things that we like to do is go leave comments, watch videos, and go leave comments on each other's videos. And I think it's, you know, it's fair enough to do if you're here live chatting, and we're going to be friends we're doing this live chat for, you know, this live stream every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the remainder of 2025, and, you know, probably beyond. But there is some validity, like we were talking about Mr. Michael Shreve. You know, the rep, he talks in with his friend Scott. I just mentioned how Mr. Scott K. Fish was here like a week ago. You can go check out that live stream. It's all dated and titled and stuff with Scott K. Fish. Scott's got a beautiful blog. He, you know, he's interviewed everyone, and he's talked with everyone. He's friends with everyone. Was good friends with Mr. Neil Peart and that kind of stuff. And then, so Mr. Shreve was talking about, who's still around, he was still with us, Mr. Shreve talks about the repetition of the thing. Like, some of us look at repetition as sort of like some form of mental illness, or the thing that's not to be talked about. You know, I have a friend who, you know, just plays the same thing over and over again. He's bat block crazy, and it's or he's nuts, or she's nuts, and it's like the craft, practicing the craft. You know, like I just relate it to like learning how to eat with a fork. You know, nobody really questioned you too much when you were first learning silverware and table etiquette. And then if you were going to eat with royalty, we'd have to up our game to consume with royalty, to share with royalty. And so all of those things relate directly to like riding a bike, relate to every other discipline in the world. Like, how far do we want to take it? Are we cool with just being a bedroom guitarist? Are we cool with just being a, you know, a campfire guitar player? I'm okay with both of those things. Do I want to bring the guitar to new places for my own benefit? Absolutely. What do I need to do to accomplish that? So that's partially what this live stream all through 2025 is all about. The repetition of the thing that gives us access to the thing before the sign. You know, the Pestalozzian principle of we can't access the next thing. We can't even contemplate the next thing until we break through this other thing. So lift the veil, or you know, all of that stuff. So let's go ahead and do the 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth finger stretch. 9, 10, 11, 13. 1 and 2 and you know 60 beats per minute all year long. Of course, over this course of the day, it's okay to change the tempo, lift the tempo, you know, a few clicks at a time, maybe gain mastery over the next elevated level of tempo, and then just keep cranking it until you're at, you know, 200 or whatever, prestissimo, and then just playing 16th note triplets like a monster. But we're just finishing up with, you know, we're introducing the concept of fingerstyle and as an alternative to being a plectrum player, especially with the advents of like the personalities and the players like Matteo Mancuso. Those of us who are really, you know, pushing those limitations, you know, the observable limitations, I mean, blowing right by those things. So we're sort of celebrating that we can also gain some mastery over fingerstyle. And it's, you know, it's not only finger picking, you know. Good morning, Jason. Gene, good morning. This guy is the man. I love how consistent and knowledgeable he is. Dan, that is an absolutely wonderful compliment. You know, gaps everywhere, but I really do appreciate that wonderful compliment, and it's that's very endearing, and I appreciate it. Dan Husband, I'm starting to see the results from this. I was playing last night and had to stretch for an F sharp minor 9 chord. It wasn't perfect, but it was better than it's been. Yeah, you're going to start seeing those things happening. It's like, oh, I'm going through the metamorphosis. It's like it's like Kafka. Tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up a Beatle or something. So here's the 1E end, a 2E end, a TE end, a FOE. Let's take a look at 8. We're in position 9, but we're dropping finger 1 back. These are just basic, fundamental chromatic style finger exercises. No, not necessarily any harmonic meaning, but unless we practice the thing, we won't have access to the thing. So 1G and a 2Z and a putting on my shoes. That's right. Is that an Ibanez RG 420? It is. I have a Taylor 420 as well, which is my absolute favorite acoustic guitar. you know, it was a gift. I walked into the tailor room, the humidor, you know, basically the guitar room, and into the shop, and at Dougie's shop, the old famous shop, and I had license to grab anything I wanted out of that tailor room, and I ended up playing everything, and I ended up picking the absolute cheapest one. I think it was like $1,500 or something with the case. The case is made out of unobtainium. It's all unobtainium now, right? But, you know, everything else was like $3,500 and up, and I thought, this played and sounded the best to me. So that's, you know, a testament to why it's so important to play the guitars that you're getting with. Play a bunch of guitars. Just enjoy the ride if you're looking for new stuff. Oh, someone said yesterday they were picking up a new guitar too. Did we end up getting a new guitar in the group here? Mark? Jamie Murrell, the saxophonist. Oh, yeah, so yeah, 𝗕𝗫, the keyboard player, he played with, he was on the Born to Run album with Bruce Springsteen. And, you know, our friend Scott was sitting there with Bruce Springsteen eating a bucket of chicken, fried chicken, at the power station when they were recording that. And so he was here last week. And Guitar Path, that guitar looks sick. Yeah, I've got to tell you, like, I never get bored of Ibanez guitars. So this is the mahogany back, right? Flamed maple book match top. You know, this like the Les Paul binding. It's basically a Les Paul, like, but it's got sharp, pointy teeth on it. It's just a beautiful rig. I love playing it. You know, it's got the DiMarzio things, you know, these little electrical thingies, the pickups on it. And the floating bridge is great. It's not the, you know, I had a gem, the 77FP, you know, sort of a rare bird now, but that has the Ibanez licensed Floyd Rose, but it's the low profile. It's the edge tremolo. This kick plate, this, like, it looks like the back of a 1990 skateboard. You know, like I'm going to do an ollie over a picnic table or something. And it kind of does get in my way a little bit. The low profile edge tremolo system really is like the bomb. If you don't have one of those, try them out. The edge tremolo is amazing. All right, so let's go back, and before I just start crying about the loss of that 77FP. So here's what we're doing now. We should stretch. All right, I'm going to stretch now, and I'm going to read through the comments and try to catch up a little bit. Okay, so I've got a straight elbow. I've got my wrist. You know, I'm not putting any tears. I don't want micro tears in any of the tissue, so I'm only going as far as feels good. This all feels really good right now. 15 clicks here. Then we're doing 15 clicks down here. I'll walk you through it 60 seconds later. We'll be back playing again. Yeah, guitar. Yeah, that guitar looks sick. Yeah, guitars teach me. Well, there's a monetary reason, but also because I need to play out. That's what I do. Yeah. 𝗏𝗏 Gómez, he was telling me once that, yeah, bass player, right? And so 𝗏𝗏 Gómez was telling me that you know, we're not marketable. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You played with everybody. Just blows my mind, like some of the things that we say, you know, that leave lasting impacts on the people to which we say the thing. It's to whom we say. Let's see, it's the straight elbow, other arm. Everything that I do on one side, I do on both sides. But I don't believe that we're not marketable. I don't believe that for 1 minute. You know, I think we're coming from the position where music is sort of a cultural thing to be preserved. It's like basically the human story. you know, it's an act of conservation and education, and ultimately, right, it's you know, are we going to Mars, or are we just going to stay here, you know, and hang out? What are we doing? Are we just going to sit around on the couch and be warm and comfortable, or are we going to climb Everest or Mount Washington, or are we going to do the thing? So I think there's a little bit of that activity is the key going on. Strategies, we do offer, you know, we do offer assistance to sort of in the form of a label through Pinecone Records. I think they do some work with artists like me and like you and like Mr. you know, Craig Brann, and it's just sort of super low key, but super effective and deep experiences. All right. Good goal. Playing out, just the activity is the key, you know what I mean? All right, something from Star Wars. There we go. 𝗕𝗏𝗃 𝗕𝗶𝗃. My friend had a set list of 20 songs, and he knew and played them through every day. Might not be the traditional way of doing it, but it worked very well for him. Absolutely, Dan. Yeah, so the way I look at that, right? So we have like what's called an A list and a B list, right? So your A list are the ones that are finished up and buttoned up and ready for performance. And the B list are the songs that are sort of over here being worked and slowly popping themselves into the A list. So A list songs, set list, and B list set list. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then what we're doing is we're using string groups, top 3 strings, middle 3 strings, bottom 3 strings. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're using 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we invert the pattern. We do 1, 2, 3, 4. We ascend. Then we descend the 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we descend the position. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then invert that pattern. Then descend the 4, 3, 2, 1. Descend the position. And Raul knows all about these things. You know, he's doing a bunch of great work on his channel. And what we're doing is we're absorbing some of the exercises that he's laying out for us. We're absorbing them into the group a little bit at a time. And all right, so let's go ahead and take a walk through the snaky lane. 1 E and a 2 E and a putting on my shoes. Oop, so a little register overrun there. Yeah, I mean, the set list, some of my friends have been playing the same songs for like their entire career. And they become so well known and so well loved. And it does work very well for them. Absolutely. 4 middle strings now, same thing. 2, 3, 4, do know what to do. Jamie, yes, I want to play good music the way I've been doing my whole life and keep the music going on. Jazz music has to survive. It just can't die off. I mean, jazz music is alive and well because of representatives like yourself. It was great to develop the old tombs and back porch spirituals and junk. Oh! Dirge, like the dirge type things, or the archaic approach to music. Yeah, absolutely. 1 for bottom 4 strings. You know what to do. And I never do that. I'm totally 100% about the music, and you can't be totally 100% about the music if you don't get paid. And it's just stupid that people think they should be able to play for nothing. Well, I think it has a little bit to do, so we're all intended to be patrons of the arts and sciences. And I believe that has a lot to do with education part of our job. Our part of like any advisory system, we're supposed to educate and inform people of the values that we hold dear and dear, and not necessarily expect them to appreciate what it is that we appreciate. And there's a really cool story there. I'm one of those people that shows up in the boardrooms and just blows it all apart. If you can imagine, you probably don't read that from me, but I'm that person. So 1 flat 3, 1 flat 3, 5 flat 7, 1 flat 3, 5 flat 7. So frets 1 4 3 1 3. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do another one of Raul's. I'd like to explore one more of Raul's exercises that he's been really working on his channel. Thank you, Mr. McLennan, for this one. So we have, if you're here and you don't mind, I certainly would love to get up to like 40 likes would be ideal, but 20 is sort of our like benchmark, so we like to get to that point. If you are watching and you seem to be enjoying any part of this, we certainly would enjoy you expressing that enjoyment with us in the way of clicking like on the video. So definitely appreciate that for certain. All right. Philippines, RJ, good morning. All right, nice to see everybody. Yeah, the bassist, Eddie. Yeah, good. Yeah. Jazz is life, brothers, yes, and sisters, absolutely. Let's take a look. Let's talk our way through the next round here. 1 2 3 4. Oh, we're using 1 3 and then 2 4 and then 1 3 2 4 1 3 2 4 1 3 2 4 1 3 2 4, right? Or we could just do 1 2 3 4 and like quintuplets. Let's just do the, let's do this thing where, good Dan Williams, I see Metallica, I see that. Let's do 1 and 3 and 2 and 4 on every string. And then when we get to the top, I'll try to remember to do 4 2 3 1. Let's try, 4 attacks per beat, see what happens. Let's do 2 attacks per beat. This is a new shape and it might cost a little more brain power, so burn a few more calories here. 1 and a 2E and a, you know what to do, and a. This is a really good opportunity to focus on tone production. Finger pickers, check out Justin Johnson, right on. Used to go and talk to Alan Holdsworth when he came to Dayton, but I would not see them if he wasn't getting paid to play there. That's correct. Finger pickers, check out Justin Johnson. Absolutely. An entire musical piece of any kind you enjoy can be the best warm-up ever. Yeah, do you ever play, Mark, do you ever play with like your eyes closed? Do you ever practice the songs with your eyes completely closed? You are simply good at the guitar. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Brick Garage. Have a great weekend, crew. See you all Monday morning. Have some fun with that snow. I'm headed back out with you later on. We'll be thinking of you, Dan. Dan the Yeti. Oh, Dog Eat Dog, yeah. The 420 is a good one. Yep. Good day, Dan. I got a Harley Benson Telecaster and it's great. The electronics aren't that great, but I'm getting the electronics replaced. Are you putting like Fralins in there? Can you play Eruption? Yes, I can, absolutely. What guitar do you use? This one is an Ibanez RG like 420 HPFM or HDF something or other, but it's got that. It's not a hardtail. There's a floating bridge here. I like their floating tremolo system better than Floyd Rose. Yeah. Raul, has anybody experienced these pickups used for PSR? DiMarzio. Oh, geez, I'm way behind on comments here. Sorry, guys. Sorry, gang. So, oh, Pedro, I'm missing. Sorry, I missed all of that. Play Eruption. Can you play Eruption? Ad Infinitum. I play this song, Autumn Leaves, at every gig. Yeah, all right. I'm working on some Ted Greene stuff right now. Kind of re-walking through Ted Greene on my channel. There's a playlist, a series that I'm doing. We're doing chord chemistry. We're literally walking word by word, page by page, chord by chord through the late, great Mr. Ted Greene's chord chemistry, and it's a really exciting. You know, it's very exciting for me to sit down and work through, rework through and reapproach the book. You know, I'm not going to say how much time has lapsed since my first work through it, but it's, I don't need to disclose that, but it is really exciting to be there with Mr. Greene and reading his words and then just going through it as a reference. I know that some of us have had, so we'll pick it up and we'll get 11 pages into it and put it on the shelf and never ever come back to it. And I always thought wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it have been cool to have a guide to walk through the book with me? Like, not just go to the private mentor, do you know what I mean, and do the hour-long thing and then take it and work on it for the week, but to have like someone go through it page by page, like alongside with me, and just play every chord. I know it's not necessarily the intended course that Mr. Greene, you know, with inner voice and upper voice and all of that voice leading movement and all of that stuff. But I thought it would be a good idea for me. I just wanted to go through the entire book and then just witness his major, just massive contributions to our world of guitar and beyond, right? I don't know how to play. What is it like? Something like that, right? And then there's a, you know, one of my favorite parts of the song. I have been adding new songs. I added How High the Moon. There will never be another you. That's a good, they're all good. They're all great. That's why they're called standards. It's not about what you play. Someone of my friends, Virgil, was saying, it's not about what you read, Jason. It's about what you haven't read. I'm like, oh, darn. I've got a lot to do. I've got a lot to do. That's why I like to keep this on time. It's 8:30 and we're getting ready to wrap it. Mr. Hot, Kevin's got to say, I'm going to go here. Oh, he has already said that. Sorry to miss you saying that, Kevin. We're getting ready to wrap it up with you, and so happy that you're here with us, Kevin. You're literally You're literally, you're so appreciated for your time. And if you wouldn't mind, say hello to Pop today. And hopefully you guys have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you over the weekend, likely, some way, form, shape, or another. But definitely we'll see you on Monday morning. I'm going to stick around, but I'm saying sayonara to Kevin, our friend Kevin. And if you guys all would like to say bye to Kevin, yeah, it's totally appropriate in this live chat. All right, see you soon, Kevin. Pedro, can you chill? I'm sure Jason sees you. I do see you. Yeah, I figured we'd be self-moderating by now, and that's about where we are. And then Kevin's he's just a gem on this channel. Super contributor. 𝗲𝗏𝗴𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 some sort of like lifers, like long-termers here if you're just tuning in, we're here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time doing this morning ritual, remaining focused as much as we can, and then preparing ourselves, our minds, and our guitars. The trick is, the reason why we're doing this for the entire year, as I need more likes today, by the way, so 20 likes would be really cool. If you could help me with that, if you're in a situation to help without injury to yourself, I'd love to have 20. So we're taking the very first video that we did before we got started, all right? And then we're taking a look at the technique there. We're going to take a look at the very last video that we do in 2025, and we're going to compare those videos, okay? I need to mention this to you because this is very, very important, okay? We're going to take a look at what 260 hours of warm-up time does for us over the span of 1 year. 5 days a week, 1 hour a day. We're going to see exactly what that does for us. We're going to compare the beginning, the first, our technique, our smoothness, our approach, our posture, how we're breathing, our confidence levels. We're going to go straight down through the jury rubric, okay? We're going right straight down. Do we stand with our fingers, with our thumb in our pockets because we don't know what to do with our hands? I mean, what are we doing? So we're going through that whole process at the end of the year. It's going to be a huge celebration. So that's number one. And I would recommend you all to go through on my channel here at Jason Carey Guitar. Go visit the posts page and then take a look at Mr. 𝗷𝗚𝗃𝗀𝗃. So Raul is here. He's been recording himself practicing along with these morning rituals so that he can take a look. Now he has a few snapshots of where he was in the beginning of this process, and then he'll have other snapshots of where he is at the end of this process, and he'll be able to, he could ship me the videos. We can, we can analyze. He can analyze himself. This is really super valuable stuff, okay? And for some, it's not, again, this is not for everybody. It's not for everybody. But if you're here and you're a guitar player and you're looking to improve yourself, number one, your music, your relationship, mechanical and spiritual and physical relationship with your, the extension of yourself, which in this case is the guitar, not the paintbrush, or the dish rag, or whatever it is, we're looking to really connect with this over the span of the year, okay? So that's why we're here. That's why we're continuing to stay around. I've been adding new songs. I added How High the Moon and Girl Talk to the set list. I can't wait to check out your channel, Jamie. Pedro, all right. Bear, nice to see you. Metallica, please, we're getting ready to wrap it up. I'm just going to finish up and welcome you back Monday morning at 7:30 a.m. I'm just going through the remainder of these comments, and then I'm going to let you jump because I know you're busy people and I don't want to keep you. Enraged Pause, I love that. Whitey Bass, top of the morning. Yeah, yes, sir. Top of the morning to you. Yeah, Metallica. Oh. What is it? There's a lot of great repertoire in the Metallica world. Timo I hope I pronounced this correctly, bonk. I tend to stick behind a fret wire when, for example, sliding from the 5th to the 6th fret with my pinky. It tips. Tip behind this, yeah. Well, tip number 1, I would invite you to come here every chance you can, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard. I know you've heard me say this by now, probably. It's so important. The seat time is, your time is literally irreplaceable, right? So I can't replace the time that I'm spending right now. So I really want to be mindful of, is this the best way I can spend every word? And so I'm not going to, you know, I don't want to be consuming your time with meaningless stuff. So I would recommend you come back here every weekday morning as much as you can, and then get those tips, because that's exactly what we're doing. We're working on super legato, super clean, super staccato, super prestissimo, we're working on feel, we're working on technique, we're working on the technique so that we can forget it, we can get beyond the technique, and we can access raw emotion like, you know, Son House did. Son House, the guy that preceded, you know, the mentor of the late great Robert Johnson, Crossroads Blues Robert Johnson. So we want to get beyond that thing where we can deliver highly emotive, you know, musical delivery. Can you help me get to 20 likes, please? I really appreciate it, and I love to get to 20 likes today. If we can't, no problem. Bernard, hey, good morning. My friend gave me a chord calculator. He had me do the major scale, picking it up, down, then move a fret up. Oh, yeah. All right, now you're talking. So every time we start getting out, we start working toward, you know, 3 and 4 note groups. So what we're going to try to do is get to some harmonic studies over the span of the year. I would just recommend that these finger group, Timo, remember that these finger stretch exercises are like gold. They're literally gold for our fingers, and we're doing these every single morning. So this is really going to help with the lateral stability, what you're talking about, instead of the finger just being floating all. It's like doing yoga and having like good core strength. It doesn't come by just not doing yoga, you know what I mean? So we've got to fortify all of these fingers so that when we do slide, we have a rigid finger that we can chop through a granite block with. Do you know what I mean? All of these have to become, you know, supporters of one another, and basically a family of fingers, a fretboard family. All right, 𝗕𝗫𝗄𝗆. The Dexter Lab cartoon dude traded beacons and Bunsen burner for an axe, blew him hair off. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's kind of what happened to me. I'm really happy if you come through and just look at some of the other videos in my channel. I have hundreds of videos on the channel, and you can search for things that you want. If there's stuff there that's not, if there's stuff that should be there that's not there that you would like to see, I'm all about it. I really am excited I'm so excited to be doing this with you, but it's enough about me. So just keep me informed of the things where you'd like to go, because this live chat over the span of the year is actually informing the path forward for all of us. So I'm squandering my time again, and 𝗕𝗫𝗄𝗆 FML. Yeah, did you say yesterday? I'll be in charge of what kind of time I'm going to squander, pal. I'll choose how I'm going to squander my time. I'll give it a try. I'm squandering my time. Okay, the chord chemistry videos are just incredible. That patience and tenacity exhibited in those off the hook. Thank you very kindly, Mark. I appreciate that. Robbie Smith, nice to see you. Thank you so much. Sorry I missed you saying got to run. Thanks, Uncle Jason. I'm so glad someone's keeping that alive. Happy picking. That's just a note. That's a reminder. That's sort of like, I guess, an inside joke now. Just doom scrolling and heard eruption, had to stop in. Did it really? Is that what caught you, Spencer? Yeah, that's really cool, man. I didn't, I should do more of that, flashy sort of go get everybody here kind of stuff. I suspect that the people who are supposed to be here will find their way here eventually. Do you know what I mean? I think this has just got to work a certain way. It's just got to work through time and let it just sort of let happen. Bye, Kevin. All right, he's gone. Anas Almas, is your foot always moving, or what's that sound? Oh, here's the sound. Metronome. 60 beats per minute. This is our guide for the year. 60 beats per minute. And I'm glad that you asked that, but I always try to move to the sound. Yeah. Good question. A couple of things I'm going to just skip over. Thank you for being here and sticking it out, Raul and 𝗔𝗠𝗃𝗏. Bernard Artis, for what you're teaching today, I found that exercise useful. Doing the major scale up and down, picking up, down, then change frets or chords, then maybe tackle the minor. Great warm-up. Yeah, well, I'm glad you're here. Like across the fretboard and all the way forwards and back. That's just so, it's super essential. We're not even really into tonic, diatonic harmony yet. We're not even really playing, the we're not even really playing like chords that lead from one to the next yet. We're not really doing that just yet. These are warm-ups, and these are the things that precede that. These give us the mechanical ability to absorb music, the music we want to learn faster. So instead of giving you the fish, teaching you the song, I'm teaching you the things that, teaching you how to fish. So hopefully I'm teaching you how to fish so that you can go and then get whatever amount of fish you need to get to feed your family. Do you know what I mean? Or whatever songs you need to learn on your own, hopefully. That's it's really rewarding to learn songs that we know and love. Like across the fretboard all the way toward the back. That's awesome. Vindoran, good morning. Buongiorno. What's the best exercise for alternate picking? Well, it's funny you ask that, because I happen to have a pick in my pocket right here. And we start with the same thing that we've been working on. So it's basically this same thing. It's basically that, but I think what we're doing is just taking it really slowly, and it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And I'm going way too fast, but it's breath work. And then very slow, controlled textures here. And then moving very carefully around each string. I'm not going way, if I plug through the string, I'm not going way over here. I'm just kind of keeping it as close to either side of the string as I can. Hopefully that's helpful. I would recommend you come back and join us every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the remainder of this year. It's free. So all kinds of those tips, just playing along with us, you'll notice that we develop quickly by leaps and bounds. So don't hesitate to join us. Also, if you like, help us to reach 20 likes today. Please, I beg you. 20 likes would be a great place to leave off with, okay? Blake Thomas. Hey, I am. That's a great thing to let me know, I think. And I appreciate you asking. The Elephant. Jim Bird. Good morning. Elephant is good. Hi, I want to learn how to play acoustic guitar. Any tips? I'm having a hard time. Julia, good morning, and thank you for being here. I do. Just make sure the guitar is in tune, accurately in tune with a tuner. What we do, we typically will go through acoustic guitar weeks, and what we do is, we tune up with this every morning, a tuning fork. You can find these available on my channel. and we use A440 to tune up to fret 5 on fret 5 natural harmonic on the A string. We use A440 because it's concert pitch. And then the concert pitch is just, we know that if we're tuned perfectly, then we can learn, you know, a good quality brand of the guitar, you know, a good quality brand of learning, a good quality playing style. So tuning is super important. I'd recommend, Julia, if you can be back here with us on Monday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that would be a great opportunity for not only you, but for us, because there are a lot of great guitar players who hang out for the first hour, and I'm keeping you way over right now, like way over. And I try to finish this in 60 minutes. And I also try to get through all of the comments. I do my best to get through all of the comments. Does that help out at all, Julia? If we invite you back to join us, and then I really appreciate you hitting the live chat, because the live chat is a great place where it's a culture, I truly believe it's a culture of respect that we're developing here. And we have a lot of really great players from all over the world who are totally qualified to help answer any of these questions. So, you know, I would encourage you to come back. I specialize personally in acoustic guitar. And this is sort of, we're just coming off of a third week of Electric Week. This is Fingerstyle Week, and this is the last day of Fingerstyle Week. If you bring your guitar, if I see you on board on Monday, I'll have an acoustic guitar ready, okay? And then we can talk about answering some of your questions that you might have. But it's free. It's every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're doing this for the rest of 2025. And please, I'd love to see you again, okay? Let's see, moving right along. Yeah, I think it's probably my guitar's small. I think it's the same answer either way. Rigged question, right? All right, so why do you prefer 3 notes per string over caged shapes? 3 notes per string over caged shape. Well, I don't have any. So what happens is if I realize that I have a preference for, you know, 3 notes per string, you know, maybe I'll use one of the benefits that I get, you know, let's say that we turn this into C major scale. And we have the 5, the 7, 1, 3, 5, 7, 1, 3, 5, 7, 1, 3. I mean, so it's a good idea to know 2 notes per string too. Alan Holdsworth talks a little bit about that, and those are great questions too. So I don't have, I always liked learning like all of the triads in each triad, and really get into triadic playing, and then linking the guitar neck together that way. So I really appreciate that question, SF. That's a really insightful question. So maybe we'll see you again on Monday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard. Blake Thomas just liked, hey, are we at 20? Hey, we're at 20. Yeah. Way to go, team. Way to go. Very nice work. Love the vibes, man. Keep it up, even when it's tough. You know, it is tough. I had a tough, you know, it's funny that you say that. Part of what's going on here is when someone doesn't show up in the live chat, you definitely, even though I don't really know any of you, most of you yet, we did have Mr. Scott K. Fish last week as his very special guest from Modern Drummer magazine, and he talked about like Neil Peart from Rush, and you know how they were good friends and all of that stuff, and Carlos Santana's drummer, like from the band Santana. We have like we do have. I'm going to be here doing this anyway, whether there's, you know, sometimes we'll have 7,000 people, 7,500 people. Sometimes we'll have 1,500. and then we'll have, people watching for, checking in for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 seconds. They pop in and they're out of here. Sometimes they stick for the whole thing and then some. And so, I'm well aware, and I really appreciate you being encouraging of that, Blake, because I think we all need a little bit of that in our lives in order to do anything useful. We need to be the self-starter. We need to be the one that gets the thing done. And more so, we need to be the one that shows up and doesn't just cite problem after problem after problem and not offer solutions. So the solution here is activity is almost always the key, right? So just being the simple fact of being active with the guitar is, and then we're talking about going a whole year long with 5 days a week. That's 260 hours. So 260 hours, I am going to see a benefit like I haven't seen in a long time, in this year, 2025. And I really appreciate the encouragement to keep at it. And I'm also going to encourage you to keep at it. If you're a guitar player and you like to play the guitar and you're looking for, basically self-improvement, improvement, and then improve yourself, improve your family, the relationships that you have in your life, in my life, and then improve the community and then the world at large, all through the art of the fine art of studying music science. And I think that's a notable thing to go after this year. So I appreciate you being here. The Android user, okay, Christian, absolutely, God does love you, agreed, amen. And please play Nickelback. Guitar Tuna app is free for tuning any instruments. Tuna, yeah, I bought the Peterson's tuner. Peterson's sort of like a well-known high-end bench tuner. I paid like $10 for it, and then I use a tuning fork more often because the tuning fork, I don't rely on a battery. I don't rely on a device to show me what's in tune. I have to use my ears to hear this, and there's nothing wrong with either way. I do both things. But knowing this sound, and then tapping this, having this in your pocket, and then tapping it, and putting it in your teeth, you can hear it vibrate your cranium, right? So it's physically giving you A440. So I've been doing this for 3 months, and just the other night I was letting the dogs out on the back deck, and they were running around the back 40 or whatever, and then, doing their thing. And I just tested myself. I sang, and then I put the tuning fork in my mouth, and I matched it like perfectly. So there's a value to having this that you can have in your pocket, and then just keep checking it every hour, every 15 minutes, whenever you think of it over the course of a day. All this does is it gives us a reference pitch, a note, this note, concert pitch, which everyone in the world, every concert hall in the world tunes to. And so now we're in tune with the globe. And if I know that reference pitch in my mind, I have a good relative understanding where all of the other notes are. That there's a high level of value in that. But we'll talk about that more over time. All right, wrapping it up here. Love the vibes, I appreciate it. I also like that Bernard is that we're all helping each other out with the free things to get us up and running and up and going without having to break the bank. I love the way people are thinking about others in this live chat. I love that you're able to, you're able to say good things. That's really important to me, to keep this nice and respectful culture of respect. Mr. 𝗙𝗏𝗏, there is a request. Play Until I Found You. Oh, Steven Sanchez. I'll take a look at it. Sometimes what happens is if I don't get to the song request in live stream, what happens is sometimes you see me break this down in a tutorial format in a curated version on the channel. So keep an eye out for that, and please keep the requests coming. Bernard, it's an app for your phone for people that may not have a tuner. I agree with the fork. Yeah, I mean, it's basically whatever tools you have to get the job done, right, Bernard? Whatever you have at your disposal is, and understanding how to use all of it is supremely important. That, you know, developing high levels of competencies with the music technology is, you know, I mean, this is a form of technology, right? Kind of weird to think that way, but 𝗙𝗍, any tips on converting chord shapes used on top 4 strings to high B and E strings? General chord shapes have to change by half step when you start adding the B and E strings. It messes up my brain. It does. That's a good question. And if you didn't take the time to articulate that, I probably would jump right now because I'm way over. Raul is hanging out. I can't believe you're still hanging out. I appreciate you still being here, man. This is awesome. If you haven't checked out Raul McQuenna's YouTube channel yet, he's got a ton of great fingering exercises. He's going through the Guitar 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I know he's got a pile of wonderful videos that you're going to love. So please, when you go check him out, say hello to him and let him know that you saw him in the live chat this morning. So let's take a look. 𝗙𝗍, real quick. All right, real quick, easy fix. I just try to remember that. So this G chord, for example. So if I'm playing like a power chord or like an E chord, all I need to do, I need to really understand how to spell chords. And I know that can be intimidating when we're starting out. And really there's no shortcut in my mind. But what I'm thinking is, I'm just taking pieces of the chords that I know, like an E minor, and I'll just play the top 4 strings. And then fortunately for me, the D chord is only the top 4 strings. And, you know, the first chord sequence in 𝗬𝗪 to Heaven is all the top 4 strings, so that's fortunate for us. The B string it's a tuning issue. So the B string is kicked down a half step because if we maintained it as a 4th, and if that was a C, we would, all of these guitaristic voicings that are easy to grip, that we know are, you know, easy access. All of that would be severely interrupted, and alternate tuning is a great way to really explore more of the guitar. But what I think you're asking is, you know, what do I do if I have 2 strings that are, if I wanted to play on just the top 4 strings of the guitar? That's a wonderful, you know, an instrumentation question or an arrangement question too, because occasionally you'll want to play while your second guitar player is playing down here on the bottom, like an A minor down here. What is that time? Let me get the timing right. So 1 E and a 2 and a T E and a 4. You might want to be playing A minor up here, and then B minor up here, and then C up here, so that we don't double. Because if we double what our second guitar player or pianist is doing, it will start to get muddy and start to be, you know, less than desirable sound. So So we might want to have like some space. So I understand the question you're asking, I think. And it takes a little bit more. Let me think about that and see if we can put a video together for you to help expand on that. Jeffrey Boyle, good morning. It helps when tuning my 12 string for sure. Yeah, absolutely. 12 strings. Yeah, what do you have for a 12 string? That's a pretty cool rig. I've got a Rick 360-12, which is like the old, you know, Birds. Really cool guitar, really fun electric. We've got a Martin 12 string kicking around, but we've got a couple of like the old cheap 𝗫𝗎𝗄𝗃, you know, like I think I like the sound of most of the cheap ones better, but Grand 2, what is my string? Why does my string only buzz if I'm pressing on the E string? That will likely be, you know, a guitar truss rod adjustment. It could also be like, where are we playing the string? Are we playing the string right up next to the fretboard, right up next to the fret? Or are we playing leaning back too far and then we're not making a good positive connection with the fret? If you can share some video of footage of what you're talking about on your channel and let me know, email me the link at jasoncareyguitar@gmail.com. If anytime you have questions like you want to reach out, you can always email me at jasoncareyguitar@gmail.com. Really easy to remember. I was like one of the first Gmail invites, right? So it was the jasoncareyguitar@gmail. So you could always send me that stuff. 260 hours, let's go. If all I get out of this is practicing finger yoga, it's still progression. Yeah, I'm actually a half an hour over right now. I should have been gone by now. And yeah. Why does my A string only buzz if I'm fretting on the E string? Yeah. None of my strings buzz open. It sounds like a truss rod adjustment. Grand 2. Grand 2, your guitar may need setup. It could have a high fret. Yep. Well, I appreciate you being here, and I love the Let's Go. I'm all about send it. Enraged Pause, I'm all about it. So thank you very much for being here today. I really appreciate all of the wonderful questions. And please don't forget over the weekend to keep working on your guitar. But I'll see you again Monday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, I wish you happy picking.